Hey guys, welcome back to another question we're processing here. We had lots of questions this
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
I just have a lot of questions. Ryan, I need help. I'm just kidding. We all
That's
need a
right.
little bit of help, and so that's why we're processing this stuff. Again, if you guys didn't get to watch the message, I'll link to it down below, and you can check out even the past weeks as well. But talking about a lot of things this weekend in the message, and another thought that came to mind for me when I'm thinking about how do I look at my motivations, how do I refine my faith or ask myself, is Jesus enough in these tough times? A couple of things I thought of was one, how do I like either start from zero if I'm like, well, I wasn't really thinking about Jesus until now.
Mm,
So like this is the time where I came to Jesus. This is brand new to me, right? I have no reference of it. My faith is new. How do I prepare for this? And on another note, this is kind of a part two. When I look at myself as a believer and I say we're in this tough time, I don't necessarily think of myself as a super strong person.
mm.
And I love the Lord with all my heart, and I know He's my joy and my strength. But I'm not so certain that I won't waver in a really tough time, or if this time in particular gets really tough. How do I maybe prepare for that in
Oof.
a way that's helpful? If you have any ideas on that,
Yeah, right.
so this is a good one.
This is a good
I
one.
expect you to have a full answer
They're,
here.
they're
Yeah.
all good ones, man. I love it. The one of the things that came to mind when you were saying that about like how do I prepare if I don't feel like I'm going to be ready to face a big
Yeah.
challenge. What came to my mind like right away was like Jesus in the garden praying,
Mm,
and one of the things that always caught my attention in that section of scripture in the Gospels was like Jesus is praying and he wants his disciples to come and pray with him too. And he's
yeah.
like, come and pray with me so that you don't fall into temptation.
Mm,
Right. And I was like, how how are we going to fall into temptation right now? Like by why would I need to pray right now before you go be crucified, right?
yeah.
And I think there's a reality that I need when difficulty comes, I think I have to be more spiritually vigilant than
Mm,
ever,
yeah.
right? Like there's the only way that I'm gonna be able to process that. The other thing that came to my mind was this great C.S. Lewis quote that it might be my favorite one. It's up there.
Wow.
I've got
It's high
I really
praise.
like, yeah, it is high praise. I like C.S. Lewis a lot, and one of the things he says is it's not the load that breaks you down, it's the way that you carry it.
Mm.
You ever heard that one?
Wow, that's a great one.
Isn't that great?
I don't think I have. That's a really good
Yeah,
one.
it's not the load that breaks you down, it's the way you carry
Huh.
it. And I thought about that a ton, like because when difficult times come, some people are able to go through them, and they're not always like the appearing to be the strongest people, but like they're the most dependent people,
Hmm.
right? They just cling to Jesus with all they have. And basically, I think if you do that, you can make it through about anything,
Yeah.
right? And so it's the weak person who has habitually recognized their own weakness
Yeah.
and clung to Jesus in the normal, like day in and day out parts of life, who I think when the tough times come are actually prepared, like,
Yeah.
I'm just doing what I always do. I'm just
Yeah.
going to cling to Jesus and like take my problems to Jesus, just like I did when things were not so tough. And I think those folks are the ones who end up making it through. And, right. And none of us really know until we're there, right?
Right.
Like, man, am I ready for something like that? I don't know. Lord, help me. But
Yeah.
I think that's the right answer always is like, Jesus, help me with that.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. That was your last question, so
No,
answer
that's
that. I
fine.
think
Yeah.
that one first. Yeah, remind me what the other ones
So
were.
when you're thinking about being new to your
Yep,
faith,
new to my
like if
faith.
I'm just starting this Jesus thing, like I haven't even had time to do the consistency
Yeah, you're starting from
because I'm
scratch.
like brand new at this.
Yep,
Like how do I even prepare? Or maybe I'm just like right into a trial now. Like
yep,
I was almost born into a trial, so to speak,
yep.
with my faith. Like how do I go about now, or how do I prepare?
Yeah, and I think that's really interesting. I came to know Jesus right before 9/11,
Oh
and so I
wow.
remember feeling some of these same feelings I'm feeling right
Yeah.
now then. And I think it was helpful for me because like the reality that Jesus is real and that my life and my world can change at any time,
Right.
like that Jesus might be coming back, that thing could really happen. Like it all felt very real, and it feels real again. Like we feel it right now.
Hmm.
Like, oh, our whole world could change like in
Yeah.
in an instant. This thing is a massive thing. So I think if I'm starting from scratch, I might be able to start in a place where I could build some really great habits of just starting by recognizing what is the Christian faith? How do I start it? And I'm starting in a place of difficulty. And so I think if I can learn how to bring my needs to Christ
Yeah.
and to interact with His Word and to depend on community, like all the kind of the basic stuff
Right.
that it takes to follow Jesus successfully. It doesn't mean that stuff doesn't save me. It just helps me to follow Jesus.
Yeah.
Right? They're just tools. Right?
Yeah.
Those are things that help me stay connected. I can do those basic things in the midst of a difficult time. I think it actually will build great habits.
Oh man.
So that when things aren't so tough, those habits are in place for me to continue to be able to follow Him. Those are some thoughts maybe
Yeah.
that I would start with.
I love that perspective on it, because one of the things that somebody told me a while ago, I don't know if it was in a sermon or through a conversation, but they were talking about being faithful to the small things so that when a big thing comes along, I can be faithful in that. And I think they used the example, which identified a lot with me because I was a poor student. They were like, the reason why they say like, you should just do your homework even if you don't have to. I'm a procrastinator. Why do today what you can do tomorrow, right? Like, why do it today? It's, well, because then if you say yes to those small things now and you just do the little bit, well, then when Friday comes and you got your schedule, you can say yes to whatever you want. And I think that same thing applies, like when we're faithful to the small things that God puts in our lives, the small trials, that's super helpful, and we're consistently faithful to those. Then when we face something big, we're like, I've done this like 100 times now, so I'll just apply the same principle. And it's really powerful, I think, to do it that way.
Yeah, not that it won't be difficult, right?
Right.
Or the emotions won't be there.
Right.
But habits either like they make us or
Yeah.
break us. They so do. I just so believe that.
Yeah.
Like there's so much gravity in habits. They just pull us in a direction. And if I can cement that direction now,
Right.
I'm going to Jesus no matter what. Right? Like I'm going to plod towards Him, then I think that'll serve us. I think it's the habit we're all fighting for, right? Who we're trying to cling to Jesus. How do I continue to do this? I think if you'd start that way, I remember that parable in Jesus talked about a Pharisee and a tax collector, and he basically said like the Pharisee prays and he says, "Hey, God, thanks for making me not like this tax collector that's basically a scumbag, right?" And then the tax collector prays and he beats his breast and he says, "Have mercy on me, the sinner." And all he's doing is he's just clinging to Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, I need your grace. And we could look through Scripture, and basically everybody who was able to make it through kind of the crucible of faith and life are all people who have done that, have clung to Jesus. I need you.
Yeah.
I need you in the midst of anxiety. I need you in the midst of my sin. I need you in the midst of my failure.
Yeah.
I need you in the midst of my success. Save me from myself. Solomon saying, "Lord, I want wisdom. I don't want riches. I actually need you to like infuse wisdom into me." Right? They're like over and over and over. God's people are always just saying, "I need you."
Yeah. And those habits done over time creates like this instinctual process in you. So then when the big thing comes and it hits hard, it's almost like you just do that. Like your instinct is to cling to God, whether you're kind of rocked by the moment, you just kind of go into that mode and you're like, you already know to do that. It's your habit, your knee jerk. It's like all happening.
Yep.
And that's all, I think, a result of like doing those things and being faithful to the Lord and crying out to Him on kind of almost a daily basis, right?
Oh yeah. And I'm even as I'm saying this, I'm like, I want and need more of those habits in me, in my own, like I'm jealous for them, right? I'm not speaking as one who's like got it yet, but I want more of it, and I want to be more and more dependent. And my natural bent is to be extraordinarily self-dependent, right? I want to trust me and follow me, and I want to lead me. And the Lord has had to break me, and He continues to have to break me on this stuff. And I just want to be someone who's like the weak person that says, I'm not even going to try. I'm going to go to Jesus first. Not as like my last result after I wreck it all.
Right.
Then I'll go to Jesus.
Yeah.
I want to be the person that goes to Jesus first. And Aaron, I'm like learning how to do that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Me too. And I think we probably all feel that way. But if we can take away the idea of like, can Jesus be the first person I go to now, and all the small things, the big things, that's really going to make a big difference. And that'll take time and practice together, but that's why we talk about these things. because we're also doing it. So it's on our minds a lot as well. So guys, love having these discussions together. There's more of these to come. Again, if you missed anything, check out the link to the service from this past weekend and the past couple of weekends as well. You can kind of check out the other conversations we're having. Can't wait to see you guys again soon. And if not in person, we'll see you this weekend on our service. Have a great week, guys.